Welcome back to more F1 2017 career mode here, guys. This is part number 18, and it is the Mexican Grand Prix here today. We are still locked in our rivalry with Romain Grosjean as we come to the end of the season. I'm hoping to pull out some good results and beat him. So, I mean, we're looking good. Like a lot of the lower teams, our driver reputation is looking pretty damn strong. So I'm very curious to see what kind of offers we may see at the end of the season. I'm staying with McLaren. I'm making it abundantly clear. I'm staying with McLaren. I just want to see what kind of offers we might get and who we've impressed. Anyway, no practice. This is jumping straight into qualifying. It was fully wet in the qualifying session, which made it a bit better for me because obviously, you know, the massive straight in Mexico is of course not going to be great for the Mclaren Honda. So obviously we'd have to try and make it up in the corners. And the easiest way to just improve when it comes to the full wet weather, I didn't take the fuel out like I normally do. I just put about like 7-8 laps of fuel in, and you can see here I'm just going round and round and round, constantly trying to improve on the lap time. I can't remember if I mentioned it last time, but I ran a fresh engine in USA. That was for today, for the USA Grand Prix and the Mexican Grand Prix, and I've got another fresh engine for Brazil and Abu Dhabi. So yeah, using 2 engines across 4 races because obviously I took so many hits early in the season. We're going to come along here. This is one of the best laps I managed to put in, actually, as we come across the line. That puts us third with the 32-1. At the time, splitting Vettel and Verstappen. Of course, we come round to one more time. Right at the end of the session, improving by just over a 10th. Nothing too special, but yeah, that was it. We ran out of fuel at that point, but a productive stint of laps, I thought. So I ended the session, and we are nowhere to be seen. Objective completed. So I'm like, well, where the hell am I? Alonso's 12th, which I will take because Alonso actually being faster than me is great. 14th. In 45 seconds, the track apparently improved so much to drop me 10 places. Bullshit.
And joining me amongst the cheers of the phenomenal Mexican fans, it's Anthony Davidson. And welcome along to this historic circuit. What an occasion this is.
Yeah, it's hard to believe when you see the passion this country has for the sport that Formula 1 was away from Mexico for so long. It's fantastic to be here, and let's hope that the race lives up to the party atmosphere we've got going. It's a real fast track, this. We get up to Monza levels of speed down the main straight thanks to the high altitude here at over 2,000 metres above sea level. And with that comes the challenge of having less downforce in the corners. So that makes it a really demanding circuit, both for the drivers and engineers.
So, looking at that as well, it looks like there's a good constructors fight going on between Ferrari and Mercedes. But looking at the strategy for ourselves today, it's going to be a one-stop. Again, like there's no point in doing so many stops. My fuel looking very high. I think I ran in rich during the practice program, so naturally it said that I needed to overfuel by like 8 laps, which is just no. So yeah. One-stop strategy, starting on the super soft tyre, finishing up on the soft tyre. It's the strategy that's got us the best results this season, so why change it, you know? But Mexico's going to be a tough one. We're going to be very vulnerable down the main straight into turn 1, of course, where there's the DRS. But I think the way the car handles itself through the corners, we're going to be good in the middle sector. And I remember on last year's game being very slow compared to the AI in the final sector. So I don't know if that's going to be another weakness for us this year as we build 5 lights. And the Mexican Grand Prix is underway. We start 12th due to some grid penalties, which I forgot about. We got a much better launch than Fernando as we pull to the right-hand side. Stroll's had an absolute rocket ship of a start. We're going to dip into his slipstream. We've got Magnussen on our left, Stroll ahead of us. We've got Daniel Ricciardo down the field, down our inside. It's going to go 4 wide into turn 1. We're going to cut through, try and avoid the back of Checo Perez as we're side by side with Felipe Massa trying to go round the outside of turn 3. There's been contact. Looks up between the 2 Force Indias up ahead of us. We've got a bad run. Daniel Ricciardo on our outside as we head towards the second chicane. Will the Red Bull be able to pull ahead? Can we box him in? We launch down the inside. Prevent Kvyat from turning in. And we hold it around his outside. And we're actually up into 9th place by the second chicane into the second sector. So a good start from us as we now come up to the staging section at the end of lap 1. We're going to take a big lunge against the Williams of Felipe Massa. And that's us just about slowing it down and up into 8th place. And now we've got the 2 Force Indias by the looks of things on split strategies. Perez on the super soft tyre, Ocon on the ultra soft. By the look of it, I didn't like the view of that bollard, so I just took that out. Interestingly enough, Perez was lapping faster than Ocon on the harder tyre, so not too sure what was going on with that. I was able to stay with Ocon quite nicely through the second and third sectors, but this main straight was a killer. Anything with a better engine than me just disappeared down this straight. But it's getting to the pit stop phase for the guys on the ultra soft tyres. I think they're going to be pulling 2 or 3 stops. I think the Ferraris have been in. Just look at it. Like this is as fast as I can go, and Ocon's off into the distance. We now got to make up all that time again. I have now cut a long way forwards. This is lap 9. Nothing's really changed. I haven't been able to reel Ocon in. But Felipe Massa has been on the move, and he's actually right up behind us as we go towards the second chicane. Massa to the outside, actually gets a full car length ahead of us, but we're going to hold it down the inside and stop him from being able to turn in, cut him off at the second point, and retain our current 6th position as we go now towards the stadium section. We've actually closed back up towards Ocon. This is later on, a few laps later. We're going to dive it down the inside of the hairpin. Ocon had gone wide. Had gone wide for the turn-in, left us an opportunity, and we are going to take that straight away. As we, no, sorry, that was the same lap, end of lap 9. And Romain Grosjean is up in 4th. Looks like he's also pulling the one-stop strategy. Of course, he is our rival, so it's going to be in our best interest to beat him. Lap 5 now, Grosjean has pit. Grosjean has pit. I'm trying to remember. I recorded this race so long ago. I'm honestly trying to remember. We have Valtteri Bottas, who's of course made a pit stop up ahead of us, and Max Verstappen closing us in. So a lot of the guys that were around us have now made their pit stops and switched to the other tyre if they were running the ultra soft. So they're going to be looking to do 2 stops. It's now Sergio Perez up behind us there, but we're now coming into the pits at the end of lap 16. We're of course going to be fitting the soft compound tyre. Romain Grosjean looks to be doing the same thing actually, so no, he wouldn't have made his pit stop. Yeah, like I say, I recorded this race, God, I don't know how long ago. It's just taken so long to find the time to be able to edit this. But anyway, 2.4 stop from the McLaren boys, and Perez coming in as well, so all 3 of us pitting on the same lap, so you would assume we're going to be in contest to the end of the race. Massa's got past us due to the undercut. It looks like Kvyat and Verstappen get through, but interestingly enough, we're out ahead of Sebastian Vettel, who's currently running ultra softs, and you would assume is going to have to pit again, as Verstappen goes round the outside of Danny Kvyat at turn 1, fighting through. Verstappen with his classic aggressive overtakes. He was so good at the real Mexican Grand Prix this year, just dominated that race. And now we've got Vettel actually going to have a look down out inside. Can he look to make the move? We're late on the brakes, leave him the room just about, and Vettel can't make his way through. But he is on tyres 2 compounds softer than us, so he will be closing up as we now catch up to the back of Danny Kvyat, just holding so much more momentum through the middle sector. We're in his slipstream. He's going to try and defend to the inside. We go more aggressive than him on the brakes and get down the inside just about. And then we've got Max Verstappen battling out with Felipe Massa and Romain Grosjean. Those 2 are going so slowly. They've managed to back Verstappen almost back into us here. What can happen on the main straight? We've got all 4 engines in Formula 1 on one straight. Ferrari powering the Haas, the Mercedes powering the Williams, the Renault powered Red Bull, and of course us in the Honda. And we're going to, I mean, there's no chance of us making up any ground, but Grosjean has fallen to the back of the train. Looks like Verstappen might be trying to make a move to get to the front of it, but nothing doing there. Massa with the best engine. We're going to close up under braking. Nothing doing to the first chicane, but if we get a good run, can we stick up behind Grosjean? We've lost a little bit on the acceleration, but we have DRS, whereas Grosjean doesn't. And we're going to be able to tuck behind him down the inside of the second chicane. Brake later, squeeze him out, take a lot of curb on the inside. And Grosjean came back at us. That was a very aggressive move from the Haas driver. I wasn't expecting him to be there. Wasn't really checking the mirrors. I've left him more room as we go around the double right hand, and we are past him like I wanted to be. Obviously, like I said, the goal is to beat Grosjean this race if he's running the same strategy. We appear to be a lot faster on this compound of tyre, so that's effectively what we need to continue to be doing there as we try and also keep up behind of course Massa and Verstappen. As we can see, I mean, Verstappen's on the ultra soft. There's no way they're going to the end, so he's got to pit again. We know Vettel behind us now, who's just moved up into 7th place, is going to have to pit again as well. So I want to say they're going to be the guys that we're racing at the end of the Grand Prix. But take a look at this. This is the incident off board from where Grosjean was up the inside. Here's the room I leave him going around the double right-hander. We're going to see it on board from Grosjean now. And you're going to see, look, we're past him. We're most of the way ahead of him. And there's no way he was going to be able to make that corner. He just stuck his car where it had absolutely no right to be, but nonetheless, we got the position back anyway. No damage really done to either car, so it's really nothing too bad. It looks as if Massa is still slowing up Max Verstappen, so we are, of course, closing in on them. I believe Massa to be on the super soft tyres, so I'm thinking he's going to be making another pit stop as he now defends from Verstappen, going through the right hand of Verstappen's got the inside into the hairpin of the final sector, though Massa still trying to defend. Verstappen tries to get past him on traction. Massa has the inside going into the penultimate corner. What are we going to see down the straight as we've closed right the way up, but now it's all about horsepower. Massa got a bad run through the final corner. Not too sure what happened to his car. We're going to stick behind him as close as we can. DRS open, and just look at this. I mean, Massa has DRS as well, but it's just a mockery. But we're gaining. We're just about 200 miles an hour. Hit the brakes into turn 1. Be nice and gentle. Looks as if our tyres might have just slightly rubbed against each other, the walls of the tyres there. But we're now up into 5th place on the 21st lap of the Mexican Grand Prix. And now it's just Verstappen ahead of us in 4th place. I mean, I would assume it's Kimi Räikkönen and the two Mercedes drivers are just gone completely up the road. We now cut to a lap later. We're still behind Verstappen, whose tyres must be wearing out at this point. And we've also got Vettel up behind us, and we've got a great run through the middle sector. Can we dive it down the inside of Verstappen from a long way back? Can we slow it down? Just about. Verstappen saw the move coming, left us the room. Credit to his quality as a racing driver there. But now we've got, yeah, like I said, Bottas is up the road, and he is a long way, a very long way up the road. Huge understeer going through the penultimate corner on these tyres. But we now move up to 4th place. No car in the pits just there. I want to say that might have been Sebastian Vettel. It may have been, because Verstappen now pits on the ultra soft. That's going to, well, a lot of guys in actually. So now we're pretty much running on our own now at this point. 12 laps left, 13 if you include the one we're on, left in the Grand Prix. Grosjean moved himself back up to 5th. He is, of course, on the same strategy to us. I imagine Perez is still behind him as well. And this is now the interesting part. We're going to have Verstappen and Vettel coming back at us on much fresher tyres towards the end of the race. You can see it there. We're half a minute behind Lewis Hamilton. And the gap back to Perez is so a good 9-10 seconds. So we are running on our own. But Perez, of course, is going to be faster than us at this stage of the race. He was closing in. It got to lap 31, and we've fallen back to 44 seconds behind Lewis Hamilton. And Sergio Perez was down to 7 seconds behind us. But he wasn't closing in fast enough for me to be too concerned about it. So it was pretty much just manage the car to the end of the race until just that moment there. Sebastian Vettel on super soft tyres passed Perez. So now it was a run to the end, and I had to try and push myself a little bit harder because we have, as the engineers just said, 5 laps left. Vettel is only 5 seconds behind, and it's going to take him a lot less than that to catch me. As you can see here, end of lap 34, beginning of lap 35, Vettel has caught me, even though I was doing better laps. Vettel, of course, on the faster tyre, he's right up my inside and in the slipstream. He goes past. He's got a DRS, of course. We're going to have to tuck in the slipstream to have any chance of trying to re-overtake him into turn 1. We make a big diving move down the inside. Take a lot of contact between the wheel and his front wing. Vettel on the inside. Now it turns to us on the inside. Who gets the better traction? It looks like us as we now head towards the second chicane. Let's take another look at that just there. The contact as the cars... My car just slid through. You've got to remember, my tyres are, of course, wearing out. We took a load of curb as well on the inside, forcing Vettel to go out a little bit wide as we now charge towards the second chicane. Is Vettel going to make a move to the outside? We go violently to the inside, prevent him from turning in, and then cut him off at the second part. The classic move we've done all race long, and that now defends it. And now Vettel is going to have a hard time following us through the second sector. He's only going to have the final lap, which we're coming on to now, to be able to make a move and take 4th position away from us in the Mexican Grand Prix. You could see how much the battling cost us in lap time. Here comes Vettel. He's got ahead of us even sooner this time around. Back into the slipstream we go. Kimi Räikkönen wins the Mexican Grand Prix. That's how close we were to being lapped. As we make a bigger lunge this time around into the first corner. No contact made against Sebastian Vettel. We got it slowed down though, but here's the problem. Vettel has got a better run out of the second chicane as we now head towards there. He goes to the outside one more time. We're going to hold the inside. He's not quite alongside us though, but we've gone deep into the first part. Vettel's going to try and come back around the outside. We force him wide, and he can't get any traction against us. And that is it for Sebastian Vettel. The only way he's going to get past us now is through the stadium section, if he's actually able to follow through this middle sector, which I don't think he will be due to the high-speed nature of the corners, and the dirty air coming off these 2017 cars is quite something. But no, Vettel's fallen a good few tenths back as we now come through the final sector now, taking a lot of curb. Look at the fireworks going off. I do love this stadium section in Mexico when you come to finish a race. Vettel has closed right back up to us under braking. Hopefully he's not going to have any nasty surprises, although we do get it a little bit wrong coming out of the final corner, but thankfully just enough traction to come across the line in 4th place.
Here they come now, out onto the podium. Wherever you go, anywhere in the world, the prancing horse flags are dominant in the grandstands, and they're out in force again today. It's Ferrari on the top step once more.
So Kimi Raikkonen wins the Mexican Grand Prix on a one-stopper versus the Mercedes boys. Quite comfortably in the end there, though. We come home 4th, Vettel 5th, Perez 6th, Verstappen 7th, Massa 8th, Kvyat 9th. Grosjean dropped to 10th in the end. His tyres must have just died at the end of the race. Alonso only coming home in 14th place. That moves us up to 8th in the driver's standings, and we're level on points with Massa, so he's looking like our rival for the end of the season. We've also got Perez, who we've managed to jump there. And interestingly enough, Williams only a point ahead of us going out of this race. And, I mean, we're only 20 points behind Force India. Could 4th in the Constructors' Championship be a possibility? It would be, provided we get the best results possible and Fernando just starts magically actually getting points. That would be super helpful. But that was my goal coming out of this race. I saw 20 points in 2 races. Very possible. Very possible. Here's our resource points. I'm looking forward to the upgrades for season 2. The car's going to be very different going into season 2. Much more competitive, which will be very nice indeed. As we move on now with the rivalry update, let's take a little look at things just here. Have we pulled ahead of Grosjean? No, we're now drawing with Grosjean, but still, that's better than losing, which is what we were doing. So hopefully we will beat the Haas driver. We've got 2 races left to prove ourselves against him. But I think we've worked wonders in this McLaren, especially since that, you know, when the patch finally came in and the car started performing the way that it should. How is everyone against us now? So now Renault are maxed out. The next team probably to max out will be Williams, then Force India, and then the top guys, like, they love us. They absolutely love us. Ferrari, probably, you know, not too happy with my aggression versus Sebastian Vettel at the end of that race. But, you know, they still liked it. Just not as much as the other teams because I was impacting them. Anyway, guys, that has been the Mexican Grand Prix for Season 1. It's taken me so long to get this out, considering, you know, I put the first 7 parts out over 7 days. And I have my apologies. I really do. But nonetheless, I'm still enjoying the series. I hope you guys are as well. Remember to leave a like if you did enjoy and comment any feedback down below. Subscribe to be notified about the content coming to the channel. And I will see you all next time.